What's up, fam? Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there today. We are taking a look at a knife that I have been drooling after for quite some time. Finally getting to take a look at it here on the tabletop, thanks to the pass around. And hopefully this will be one that's adding to the collection very, very soon. But we are taking a look at the WK-1 from Remette. Specifically, this is the E model with the belt satin and hand satin flats. I absolutely love this knife. It reminds me so much of the Mecha X from Katsuo. Is certainly a different knife, but it does have that same feel, that same energy that that the Mecha X offers. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So this knife right now, what's currently available is anywhere between $355 and $405. $355 is for this version, but with the pearlescent finish on the grind and the satin flats. And then the $405, of course, is for the DLC. This version here is listed at $375, so smack dab in between the two. Again, this is the version E, so just keep that in mind. If that's what you're looking for, then this is certainly the one for you. Blade, we're looking at a 3.46-inch M390 blade. I believe they do their M390 at 59-61. If I'm mistaken, I'll put it up on the screen here. We're looking at a 1.17-inch height. That is measured right here at that harpoon angle there, or at that thumb ramp. And it does use a 3.5 millimeter blade stock, so nice thick blade stock for this really nice 3/4 height hollow grind. Handle 4.72 inches, 1.17 at its tallest point. So I think I measured that right in this area. And of course, that does shrink down as you get further into the handle. And then thickness, it does have a really nice thickness here. We're looking at 0.53 or 0.66 with the pocket clip. Overall, 8.07, so just north of what I typically like, but an 8-inch knife is certainly welcome in my collection. And then the carry profile, which is actually really, really astonishing for a knife of this size. Your carry profile is 1.38, and that's measured right here, right at the tallest point. So really nicely done. No issues at all with that. So just under 1.5 inches for that. And a 5-ounce weight, so really not a bad weight there either. For a titanium inset liner lock, just wonderful, wonderful knife. Let's go ahead and jump into close-ups here and just kind of drool over this thing a little bit more. So coming in, we do have the screwless design, we'll call it, but it is just concealed screws underneath a shell that goes over the back of the knife. Really cool thumb stud. So one thing I do want to bring attention to is that it is textured even up here on the flat part. It's just slightly textured. Then you do have the milling there and the jimping on the thumb stud itself, kind of at that angle, which does give you some really nice traction on there. Great milling on the blade as well. We have a little bit here and some more down in this area. A little bit of point edging on the back side. We have a lanyard hole there, and then you have the latch right here, which does allow you to remove the clamshell or the back space or whatever you want to call it. You just pull that down and you push everything forward and it slides out. We have a titanium pocket clip. Again, this works very, very well. I absolutely love this knife. Flipper action. Flipper works great. No issues with that. Perfectly centered. Let's get it in the center of the screen there. Perfectly centered. We do have an off grind on our tip, though. You can see that right off the bat. And again, there's that profile. Then M390 listed there. Flipper works really well on this knife. And let's give our camera time to adjust to the lighting here. So then we have a beautiful belt satin hollow ground blade, swedge with a poon and a thumb ramp there, whatever you want to call it. Just the Remette branding there behind the stud, just hiding there. Nothing on this side, just more of that same beautiful satin. Plunge grind, let's see if we can see it better from this angle. Plunge grind is really well done. No issues with that plunge grind at all. You do have a choke up point here, and that does give you a nice comfortable spot. And you can see there, even with my big old fat fingers, I am far enough away from the edge. I'm not in any worry about cutting myself. Sharpening itself looks to be good. I don't see any craziness going on. So we will have just a little bit of an off grind here at the tip. Let's see if we can see that right off the bat. Yeah, so there you can see you just have a little less of a grind here on this side than we do on this side. But aside from that, the sharpening looks nice and symmetrical. And our lockup, let's see, we'll have to tilt a little bit just to see it since of that flipper. Lockup looks great. Go ahead and take a look down inside here. Do we have any? Yeah, we have a little bit of weight savings in there. Nothing crazy. Just a little bit more on that side. So again, inset liner lock, really well done knife. Remette has absolutely killed the execution on this knife. And they've really stepped up their game as far as their manufacturing over the last year or so. So really impressed by that. Now this knife again feels great in the hand. The choke up spot is actually really good on this knife. Typically, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of finger choils. This one is done very well. It's nice. Even in its standard grip, I don't feel like I'm too far away from the edge of the blade. But when I'm choked up, it just feels very natural. It's yeah, I like this a lot. It just feels perfect in the hands right here. I don't feel any hot spots because it's a liner lock instead of a frame lock. I'm not getting any of those typical hot spots from the frame. And then because of everything being nicely chamfered right in here, this feels great in the hand as well. Good jimping. It's not too aggressive. It's not too light. It's just done extremely, extremely well. Now, we talked about the back strap here that does slide off. So you just pull this down and then push the frame forward, or the back forward. You can see there, sorry, I don't know if you can see it, but that just slides forward. And then I will typically lift off and then slide it out. Now, I'm not going to take it all the way off because getting it back over that lip can be a little tricky, but since I do have access to that here, and one thing I will say is your blade is exposed at this point, so of course, be careful. Don't cut yourself. If you do, make sure you have Band-Aids around. So T8 hardware there is done really well. Y'all couldn't see that because of the angle there, but you'll just have to trust that that was a well-done screw. That one has just the tiniest bit of wiggle. I'm going to flip it over here, and we're going to check the other side because it is a dual-tooled pivot. That is perfect. Zero issues with that. And then this just slides back down. We get that slid in there. Then we push it down. And then slide it back. You pull your little screw down there, or the little latch down, and it just latches in place. Make sure everything looks good. Should have no seams. Perfect. Yeah, really cool. Now we got our hardware check done. Let's go ahead and take a look at our size comparisons. Now this one will be slightly larger than most of the stuff on the table at 8 inches, but I think it'll be very similar to what we look at with the Militaw, if I'm not mistaken. Coming in with the Penguin and the Pyrite. Now again, this is the alt version of the Pyrite, so there is, I believe, slight differences between this and the standard as far as overall length is concerned, but I don't think it's enough to really make much of a difference. So should be able to see a good idea of that there. We have the standard drop bear, so this is the original one, not the new one, so the new one is slightly smaller. So if you do have a drop bear too, then keep that in mind. All right, coming in with the Militaw. So the Militaw should be the closest on the table to the overall length here. Most of the other knives are going to be smaller or larger. So there we are. So very, very similar to that Militaw. So if you like the Militaw size, you will certainly like the sizing of the, and actually the profile in general, the carry profile in general is very, very similar to the WK-1 and Militaw here, or between those two. So go ahead and then bring out the Bel Air, followed up by the Malibu. And then the big boys coming in, we have the PM2, which isn't going to be that much larger. See if we can get that lined up there. So you can see there just a little bit of difference there, nothing terrible. And then the MSI, which is just on the north end there. Like I said, this is one, if you guys couldn't tell, one that I really enjoy. I think this is a phenomenal knife and a beautiful design. Honestly, I like the simplicity of it. It's also elegant in a way. I like the seeing that Remette doing a satin grind on these instead of giving you that option to get that satin instead of having to get that pearlescent finish, which I don't mind, but again, I would prefer to have this beautiful belt satin over that any day of the week. So let me know what you guys are thinking about this knife in the comments down below. If you own it, I am really interested to know your feelings on it and see if you feel the same as I do. But yeah, as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Please remember to be kind, be humble, and be EDC. Y'all take care.